It's very, very early. The sun is not yet up, and I am looking at the cryptos. Yeah, I'm obsessed. But I think maybe you're going to like what we see today. Let's start the music. Shh. All right, hey, everybody. I don't know why I'm up. I was up at 4:30, just wide awake. It's now 5:54. The sun has yet to come up. It's getting into that dark time of year, so I apologize for the crappy light. But let's get going here because there's a lot going on. There's a couple of significant buy signals that I think you guys should know about. And again, whether you choose to act on them or not is your business, right? Let's look at the news first. Whoops, right here. All right, so according to this, $15,000 is one Bitcoin. Let's hit refresh real quick to see if that's changed significantly since the last few minutes. 15,610, just a couple $100 difference, no big deal. New York Times had an article, Bitcoin's prices soared, what comes next? CoinDesk has an article, Bull Trap. I read that article from CoinDesk and it's like, well, it could go up or it could go down. And they sound like they know what they're talking about, but essentially they're saying they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We can only look at the patterns and the fundamentals, and basically the thing you can't ignore right now is that this is a rising market. It's rising pretty much everywhere. Not every day, not every second, but it's the whole thing is starting. It's like starting a fire, people. You start with the paper, and then you have the twigs, and then you have the kindling, and then you have the logs, and we're in the kindling to the log stage here of this fire. According to this gold dealer, AppMex now accepting Bitcoin, cites customer desire for anonymity. The question I don't get is why they're accepting Bitcoin. Why not accept Litecoin? Why not accept Dash, the actual usable currencies? I don't know, but we'll see. I'm not reading that one. So nothing else in the news other than the price is up, and it seems to be okay. I guess that's it. So let's look at it. Let's look at these numbers. Bitcoin, we had a decent bit of a retracement here on this chart at Bitfinex. It's at 14,527. It seems to be lower at Bitfinex than it often is, but that's the best chart that I have, so that's what I'm using. And it's all relative. Let's look at a 1 hour chart here. I just click the 1 day chart again. I do that when I first wake up. I do dumb shit. I do dumb shit all day anyway. And if I can do this, people, you can do this, all right? Just I'd like you to know. So if you think Bitcoin's going to 20,000 and staying there, this would be a good buy. This would be a good time to get in. It creeps me out, though. It's so freaking high compared to where it was just a month ago that I feel a little concerned about getting in at this point. However, if I had profits that I wanted to take from a different project and I wanted to put it into Bitcoin, and it was house money, I would buy here. I would buy here, ride it up to 17 again, and then sell. And if it drops farther, if it comes back to this second line, I will definitely find a way to get some of it. Not a lot, but I would get some of it so that at least I could ride something up. Because none of us expected it to crank up this high, this fast. And the question is, will it keep going or will it have a serious correction? No one knows, really. The long-term hodlers, the holding on for dear life people, are congratulating themselves. And it's really interesting because my portfolio, I had a full Bitcoin around July, and I I basically took profits on July 19th and then put it into other things, including Ponzi schemes, and I lost a bunch of it. But my portfolio is about at 14,000, and I own no Bitcoin. So essentially, I diversified from Bitcoin into all the alts, and I'm doing about as well as Bitcoin is. So it's kind of, if you think of Bitcoin as your S&P 500, it's the thing to kind of gauge everything else against. I'm doing okay. And it's so freaking volatile, and the downside is so huge now. I mean, you could buy here today and it could go down to 10,000. I mean, it really could, and you'd be screwed. So it's playing with fire, people. And that's why a lot of seasoned Wall Street veterans are going, oh, it scares me. It scares me because it looks like a bubble. And I think in actuality, it's more like cell phone adoption, that moment when all of a sudden everybody had a damn cell phone. Or maybe even just the original telephone. Nobody had telephones in their house. You had to go someplace in town. And then eventually everybody had a phone in their house. And then eventually everybody had a cordless phone. And then eventually everybody had a cell phone. And each of these pulses started with a few people and then gradually spread like a virus in an exponential curve to the rest of the population. So that's what I think is happening to Bitcoin. But I may not be totally and completely right either. I don't know. It is hard to discern the future. What we know is nothing like this has ever happened before in the history of the world. So that's why it's kind of exciting. All right, so that's a little bit of my hypnosis of money thoughts before we get cranking through this. You guys ready? I'm going to go a little faster today, hopefully, than I normally do. And we're gonna do the 1 day and the 1 hour charts as best we can. So we're going up to Bitcoin Cash. Bitcoin Cash is really interesting because I think what's going to happen, we have a trend, and the bottoms are higher as the trend line moves up. And you can take the trend all the way back to October, and we have kind of a ceiling here. It's a top. It's a single top at the moment. You could call it a double top if you count this crazy wick, but that was really a strange anomaly of a day. So if you want to, you could say it's a double top, but it could be a single top, but we'll see. And I think, and I'm going to keep watching this, I am in this market. I'm in somewhere in this area, I think. I think maybe right even at 1200. I didn't get a great buy. I didn't get in here. At least, no, I'm pretty sure I didn't get in there. I know I'm above 1,000 somewhere. I don't pay that much attention to the prices. I pay the attention to where it is on the chart. And I'll show you that in Omise Go. I have it pretty well defined. So I'm in the money a little bit. Bitcoin Cash. I think it's going to come up here and test this resistance because that's what it seems like it wants to do just looking at the chart. But it could also just continue to kind of go sideways, and that's okay too. If it grinds into a tight sideways channel, that to me is a good sign. It seems to have support up here. That seems to be a good sign. So if it came back to this line and showed support kind of climbing up here, I would still be on kind of a buy mentality. And the question is, there's no other currency other than Bitcoin that's over $1,000, as far as I know. So this has some viable energy, and it has a pretty good market cap. And I think you're going to see it crank, particularly after the holidays, particularly if Bitcoin has a serious correction, particularly if the population wakes up to the fact that Bitcoin is totally and completely unusable. It's really unusable. You can't really exchange it with anyone. It takes too damn long, and no one will put up with it forever. So, right? Bitcoin still hasn't scaled. It's still expensive. It's still slow. Bitcoin Cash has solved some of those problems, but it still has longer confirmation times than Dash, for example. So anyway, all that to say, I'm watching it. I'm watching it, and I'm in. I got about $1,000 worth of it. And I'm not very much in the money. I probably got in around here. So if it goes above this line, I'm definitely in profit, and I will definitely take some profit and hold on to see if it goes higher. So I think there's a serious movement, and it's quiet now, for Bitcoin Cash to give Bitcoin a run for its money. So we'll see. All right, Bitcoin Gold seems to be climbing right up this trend line. We have a double top. Between where it is today and its serious ceiling here, there's at least $100 of profit to be made. So if you got in here, not a bad place. If it comes back to this line and stays near the line, great place to get in. So it's 246, 225, 211. So there's some wiggle room here. If it comes back a little bit, but looks like it's being supported on this line, that would be a definite buy signal. And the idea is to get into position with these altcoins so that when they start really moving again, boom, you're in a position and you can take profits and get out with your profits and maybe put it back in Bitcoin and put it back in Litecoin, back in Ethereum. Or I've been putting my profits into Quantum, and we'll look at that in a minute. Okay, so Dash. Dash is just looking really sweet here. We had a bit of a correction, a bit of a sell-off. I sold off some of mine when it was up here, because the thing is, these coins, you gotta seems like you gotta lock in your profits. I just can't seem to just hold it till next year. It's just never gonna work for me. So you gotta figure out what works for you. That's really the deal. I'm not a day trader, but I'm kind of a consistently in the market looking for bargains and looking to see where I can get out with a profit, get in lower, and crank it. I'm cranking my crypto, people. So Dash is looking good. I want to take a peek on the 1 hour chart here. I would not buy right here. It seems like it's right, pretty much coming back to a top. If there was another significant pullback, but it held its kind of ground, I might consider getting in again. Or if I had profits someplace else that I couldn't figure out where to put them, I might put them into Dash. And again, I get some Dash every day from my Bitcoin mining contract. So that's cool. EOS against Ethereum. So if you have Ethereum and you don't have EOS, and your Ethereum, you have profits in Ethereum, you might want to consider EOS. Not a good time, I don't think, to get in. I got in down here, so I'm pretty happy with this move. I'm doing pretty well with my EOS. It's my second largest position. Let's look at the EOS to the US dollar, looking even better. I actually got in down here. This was one of these tight sideways channels, and they only happen when things are quiet. So you got to watch, right? When things are quiet, you got to watch. This is more exciting, but when things are quiet, that's when you can really see some bargains. So just keeping an eye on EOS at this point. I took 1,000 of it out as profit when it was up here, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I'd like it to go back up to 5, obviously. So yeah, sure. Ethereum, I love this little square thing that's going on. It's like this little square, Hello. My whole thing just froze. My mouse, there we go. Okay. My mouse got disconnected. Okay, so I just see this as a square in my mind, of course. And then we could draw a line this way too. And we could draw a line this way. Whoops. There we go. I don't know. It just seems like a weird little square going on here. It's the best I can draw it. So who knows what's going to happen here. I would be happy if it just consolidates in this sideways channel. We'll get rid of this line there. And this line here, we don't really need it, but I just thought it'd be fun to look. I mean, if it just goes back up and down in this channel for a while, that'd be okay too. But you could consider that this is multiple tops, and the bottoms are not rising, except they sort of are, but not really, you know. So and Ethereum right now is being clogged with these kitties. Check out this article on CoinDesk. Catfight Ethereum users clash over crypto kitties. Ethereum users are calling for a solution to the protocol's CryptoKitties invasion. The cat trading game had grown so popular earlier in this week that it was clogging the Ethereum network, slowing down transaction times. Now, however, congestion is reaching unprecedented levels with a record-breaking 30,000 transactions stuck and waiting to be processed at press time. So there's a little problem over on Ethereum once again, and that's what happens. That's what happens when these blockchains start being used and the capacity, the use exceeds the capacity, and that's when we come into scaling issues. So the beauty of that is things like Quantum and EOS and NEO and even Ripple XRP, the Ripple XRP, they have the ability to do lots of transactions, millions of transactions a second. So that's interesting, as well as IOTA. IOTA will be very, very fast, and it doesn't use the blockchain, or it uses the Tangle. So it doesn't use proof of work or proof of stake. It uses something called the Tangle for confirmations, and can't get me any right now, and that's okay because it's not really a great place to get in. Litecoin. Litecoin was way, way up last night, and it came back, and I took profits around this point anyway. I'm not trying to take profits at the peak top, but if it's really parabolic, I've been around enough to know that it doesn't stay up there, right? So if you get an opportunity to sell when it's up, you kind of just grab it. Otherwise, you have to be patient, because it goes up briefly and then it comes back, and eventually it goes back there. But, particularly Litecoin seems to take its sweet time for a while and then it moves. And I kind of like that about Litecoin. That's a one-day chart. Look at that. Just boom. Steady up. This boost big, this boost bigger, this boost bigger, this boost bigger, right? It seems to be amplified. And I know the South Koreans love Litecoin. It's a great it's a good project. It seems to be steadier, a little less volatile, but still has the upside potential. And we'll see. We will see. Not the best time to get in right now. I would want it to come back a little bit. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah. All right, so just keeping an eye on Litecoin. NEO, I am seeing some buy signals. Okay, this is the NEO Ethereum chart, right? So it's down against Ethereum, which is good because you can use Ethereum to buy it. All right, Ethereum's up, NEO's down. That's a good move. And let's look at NEO US dollar. And not a bad time. So if it lines up as a good price against the dollar and a good price against Ethereum, that could be a significant buy signal. Here's the other piece. We have rising bottoms. Other than this weird, strange, the strange flash crash here. Other than that, we have pretty solid rising bottoms, and we have a double top, or you could call this a head and shoulders, right? Here's the head, here's a shoulder, there's a shoulder. It's kind of the hunched up shoulders, but in its simplest form, rising bottoms, double top. That, to me, people, is a buy signal. Plus, we are at a pretty good resistance point here, and we have room to move to this next resistance point. Other than that, I mean, there's other technical guys, and they know all kinds of stuff about moving averages and Fibonacci levels and Bertolucci's and Quaganichis and guacamoles and stuff like that. I just look at the pattern and I sense the rhythm. And NEO is a really good project. It is the Chinese Ethereum, and they've solved a lot of Ethereum scaling problems already. I basically told a couple of my close friends last night, particularly when it came down to the line here, down right in this spot. Just going to make this a little bigger. If we come down to this line, that's a buy, okay? You don't have to buy, but if you want to buy, that would be a good place to get in. And then I don't know how long it's going to take for it to pop, but this pattern almost always I have seen. In my many minutes as a trader, this pattern has made me money. Okay, just consider that. All right, when we say go, we have a nice upward channel. This horizontal line is where I got in. I got in over here on October 3rd or something. Where is October 3rd? Oh, right here. So I got in October 3rd. That's my break-even point. I'm right at it. Right at my break-even point. October 3rd I got in. And I got in over here. So I've had to wait as it's gone up and then come down. I was disappointed, right? But here's the deal. I just got in. I didn't really plan this. I got in back when I had some pretty good support here. And I didn't really have rising tops. I just had support. And I got in somewhere around that area because I thought it was going up this way. But it went down, right? So I made a mistake. Not really a mistake, just not ready to pay off yet. And again, it's early in this project, and I'm okay. I can hang on a little bit. But I'd like it to move up a little bit from where it is now. All right, so when we say go, I think it's not a bad place to get in. Oh, excuse me. Not a bad place to get in. Not the best place either. However, we now have rising bottoms. And we actually have rising tops too. I mean, you can figure it out wherever you can want to, anywhere you want to put it. We got some risings, and it's kind of spreading a little bit. But it all depends on where you draw your lines, right? Where is your line? Is it a channel or is it not a channel, right? But this is what I do all day, people. I just stare at these stupid lines. And I think about it and I feel into it, and it seems to be working for me. You're going to have to find your own way of doing stuff. And this is just what's working for me. And so far, it's done pretty well. I've done pretty damn well with this. Now, my favorite little project here is Quantum. And I've been slapping profits from other places into Quantum. And I am at a spot where I'm in profit, but I've really done most of my buying between 10 and 12. So I'm not much in the profit. I just have a lot of it. And when it goes, if it goes to 15, 16, or 17, when it goes, because it's going to go, I will definitely take some profit. So I'm just kind of keeping an eye on it and see what happens. We'll get rid of some of these lines here. just to get it clear. But pretty much right where it's at, it's the even spot. See, there's some below and some above. So that's interesting. But we have good support here. And we have good support at the next level. And we have some pretty good resistance here. So I'm liking quantum, people. And I would still buy some. I would still put profits in quantum. Anything below 12, I would do that. Because I'm not that price conscious. I want to get in before it really moves. And this kind of constitutes a bit of a sideways trading range. And you want to get in below it, as far below the trading range as you can. So anyway, quantum, still a place where I'm tucking profits if I have them someplace and I don't know where else to put them. I wanted to put them in something that was a lower level price, but that has totally blue chip upward potential. Well, that's what I've been doing. All right. XMR, I took all my profits. I sold it all. I bought it below, I think I bought it at 80 or 90. And I sold it up here the other day at 240, something like that. And not time to get back in yet. But when we have some quieter times, sideways trading channel, I will tuck profits into Monero. Just not yet. Ripple. Let's see what's going on with Ripple. Okay, we're halfway to the line. Right? If it comes back to this lower line, get some more. I don't know what it's doing, it's actually not Ripple, it's XRP. Ripple is the transfer protocol that banks are using to basically essentially go into the blockchain, go across borders, and back out of the blockchain into the destination bank. So, for example, Bank of America, I think, is using this, and other big banks and corporations are using the Ripple protocol. They're not using XRP. XRP is basically kind of just their currency, and it's too volatile for the banks to use for people to exchange money with. However, the Ripple protocol is being used and adopted, and it is pretty much usually the number 3 or number 4 currency. So XRP is something I'm doing more research on. This to me is more of a speculative thing. And if it goes up above this line up here, I will take some profits. I may just sell it all. It seems like it does this up and down thing, but the bottoms are rising and we have a triple top. So Ripple to me is a buy signal, just not right where it is here. It's definitely a buy signal anywhere below this. And I think I probably got in somewhere around here in this area. So if it pops up through here, that's good. It'd be cool if it went to $1. So that's Ripple, XRP. All right. And let's keep cranking here. This is what I do all day, every day. And this is Cardano. ADA is their coin. Not sure what to tell you here. That's against Bitcoin. Here it is against Ethereum. We have this weird first wick. So I gotta look at a tighter chart, see if we can get some information here. I bought this down here. I think it's gonna start moving up. It's a really good project, and I would still buy down here. It's pretty cheap. I definitely am. I'm in it. I'm in it to win it, people. So we'll see. That's definitely an option. Buy low, sell high, right? when stuff is down, that's when you can do well with it. But you don't want it to keep going down, right? You want to get it when it's down but about to go up. And it seems like we are in that little spot here when it was heading down and now we have a higher bottom. So we'll see if it can kind of keep going up or not. All right, that's one of my new ones. Basic attention token against Ethereum. We kind of went down as far as we could go, and then we have some life in it. We're coming up. So basic attention token, new project. Get the Brave browser, check it out, read up on it. It's going to disrupt the advertising industry, hopefully in just the most delightful way. I like the idea of me being paid to look at ads instead of them using me and using my information to slap ads in front of me. Pay me and I'll pay attention. All right, CIVIC. I'm calling for a buy signal here on CIVIC. Right? It could go lower, but we are at 1, 2, 3, 4 solid places of support at its lowest. Right? I think after the big release, after the initial ICO, and all that fervor has cooled off, it's still a solid project, and it does real stuff in the real world, and it's all about protecting identities and putting you in charge of it instead of Equifax. I would call this a buy signal. This is a good time to get in because there's not much downside. It's not like $15,000 below you to fall. It's 0.00061,947 Ethereum. That's pretty cheap. I don't know what it is. Let's go to CIVIC on the World Coin Index. Sometime today. See if we can even find CIVIC. It's been dropping a little in the yeah, it's way down. Look at all these coins, people. There's no way any single human being can keep track of all this shit. But I'm sure there's some kind of a computer program, or someone can say they have a computer program, and if you just put your Bitcoin in their Ponzi scheme, they'll be happy to do all the trading for you. CIVIC, it's in the 100th spot. It is a $1 billion project, though. And it's at 32 cents, and it's up 13%. So I'm calling it a buy. So I think it's a good project. I have it in the Exodus wallet. I think it's still a I could be wrong on this. I think it's still an Ethereum token, but I could be wrong. I haven't done that much research. Where's my CIVIC? There it is. I got 1,200 of them. So if they boost, if CIVIC does anything, I'm going to be rich. All right? So you want to buy low, sell high, people. That's it. Don't be afraid of something that's low. Just don't you don't want to be chasing these parabolic moves, and you don't want to buy in too high on a pullback, right? Yeah. You want to be able to take some time and watch it. And sometimes it's good to just keep watching it before you get in. So there's Ethereum against Bitcoin. There's Ethereum against US dollar Tether. Okay, Monaco. All right, Monaco was boosting like crazy earlier in the week, and now it is settling down. I got some. I'm probably not in the money, but I just got a little bit to start getting used to it. Quantum against Ethereum. I'm keeping an eye on this chart just because if Quantum is down and Ethereum is up, I'm buying more, right? Salt against Ethereum. I took my profits, and I'm happy I did because it came back. And if we have a significant retracement, like if Sol comes all the way back down here, I'll buy it again with the profits, right? And Sia coin or Sia coin, this is cloud storage on the blockchain. Going to give Amazon S3 a run for its money. Not a horrible time to get in. It's still early in the project. But that's it. That's it, people. It's all I'm watching. And it seems like it's taking a long time to get through it, but I don't want to skimp. And this is helpful for me. And this is why I do it. If it wasn't helpful for me, I wouldn't do it. But hopefully it's helpful for you as well. I know it's not fluff entertainment. I know it's not your 1 minute sound bite. Right? This is like real stuff, real information. I'm basically sharing my whole program and process with you. And, you know, I think it's not bad. I think I've taken about maybe $3,500 that I've actually invested. And I've got $3,600 now in my Exodus wallet, and over on Bittrex, I'm up $10,000. So that's a little over $13,000. Maybe it's 14, something like that, 13-ish. Not bad. Not bad. A lot of the stuff I'm in is, you know, had little pullbacks. So, you know, I don't have any degrees in this, people. I'm just teaching myself how to do this. And so the whole point I'm trying to make to you guys day after day is that no one's going to do this for you, right? And my friend Mike said, Mark, I just saw an ad for a Bitcoin IRA where you just give your money to this fund and they'll buy Bitcoin for you, right? That's so ridiculous. And I would probably need to talk about that more. Don't put your money into a Bitcoin IRA. Just buy Bitcoin, right? And you don't have to buy a whole Bitcoin, people. You can buy 0.001 Bitcoin, 0.01, 0.00001 Bitcoin, whatever. So the thing is to start, and we're on Bitcoin Cash. Let me go back to Bitcoin itself here. You know, we are in historic, unprecedented levels, and Bitcoin is getting the news. In the meantime, there's a lot of buy signals, a lot of bargains, a lot of other coins, and this year is going to be the rise of the altcoins. And Bitcoin will either keep going, or it will consolidate, or it will have a serious pullback. And either way, let's plan on profiting from whatever it does, whether directly or indirectly in the space. So that's it for today. Hope you have a great Saturday. It's 6:30 a.m. at the moment, and I've been slacking on getting these out as early as I want to. So hopefully this will help you today. All right. Peace, grooviness, over and out. If you like this, please give me that thumbs up. Please subscribe. Please ring that little bell so you get it. You get alerts and stuff. And I'm still working on getting a better streaming thing going, and I'll keep working on that. And if you like this, you might like my Better Man project. If you like that and this, you might like my music, and check those out. And I think that's it for now. There's a bunch of information below. My charts are Coinigy, and there's a link below. There's a link below to get you $10 and me $10 at Coinbase. There's links below for Genesis Mining. And they're probably sold out of contracts right now, but they are working on making more available. And when they do become available, they're pretty much the only place I trust. And I've done a lot of research. And there's other companies I do trust, but that aren't available to U.S. citizens. So that's it. Start the music. I'll see you in the next one.